Okay, so I took a trip to the Springville Art Museum, and there's this piece here that we're going to go over some of the images that are just chock full of the esoteric occult symbolism. And when I say occult, I don't mean evil, I mean obscure, not well understood. And because people fear what they don't know and don't understand, a lot of soft-minded people take a hardline stance on things they don't understand. The mystery of the unknown is scary. And before we delve into this, let me just say, I don't demonize Freemasons the way that everyone else in this community does. And as far as Mormons, they've produced a society full of people worth living with that creates a world worth living in of all the cultures, the pockets of culture that I've experienced. If I had to throw my hat in the ring with one tribe and tribe up, it would definitely be the Mormons, and I don't say that as a Mormon. I'm not Mormon. We'll discuss more about that as we go on. I just wanted to preface this, so if I say things sarcastically like, we exposed them, those free Mormons posing as Mormons when they're really Masons, recognize the sarcasm in my voice. We'll talk more about this here in a minute, but what you're looking at is an art piece that is what honeybee farmers use to farm honeybees. Each one of those drawers is a compartment that the honeybees go in, and you open each one of those drawers and there's a little honeycomb in there with all the bees. So let's look at some of the images on this. Not sure about this one. Maybe we can come back to that later. I can't really recognize too much of the symbolism. Let's go on to some of the stuff that I can recognize. Other than there's a bee there at the bottom. But maybe we'll come back to that one. Here is the honeycomb, or the beehive. That's more accurate, the beehive. The two pillars on the right and the left. And this over here, she's holding a hive propped up there on the corner. Same thing on the other corner. A different woman holding a hive. And up top here, that might be some sun god symbolism. Okay, moving on. And as we're going down, Apis deserentia, the Latin word for the Utah bees, referencing the Utah culture. Maybe we'll go over that later. Here's a very Masonic image. In the middle, the bowls holding up the bowl is their baptismal font. In a Mormon temple, there's the pool that they baptize people in, and is held up by like these 12 bulls. It's on the back of these 12 bulls, B-U-L-L, with the horns. And there's the checkerboard floor at the bottom, the two pillars, the one on the left with the moon above it and a globe of the earth, the one on the right with a different of globe. That globe on the right is a globe of the stars, or a globe of the sky, that is common to Freemasonry. Those same two globes sit out in front of the Masonic temple in Salt Lake City, which I went to one night when they had an open house. So don't be afraid of the pillars and the globes. And maybe we'll come back to that, but it's clearly very Masonic with the checkerboard and the two pillars, and there's plenty more where that came from. This one says, our hive is not their honeypot. And this lady, we're going to come back to this for sure. She's a fumigator. She's fumigating these pesky wasp Gentiles. Here comes those pesky Gentile wasps again. If only there were a refuge they could not reach. Because these pesky wasps are invading their honeybee hive when they're just trying to do their honeybee thing. And over here on WASP has also been known to stand for White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. I don't know if that's what they're referencing there or not, but I just thought I'd throw that in. On the right, New Zion, milk and honey, not for Gentiles, answering the plea. This is presumably the angel Moroni on the right, maybe talking to Joseph Smith there next to him. This one might be Joseph Smith and Brigham Young holding the beehive. and they look a lot like the two lions, or the lion and the dragon in London. Here it says welcome home, and you can see the bee on the left is packing a wheelbarrow full of honey, and the bee on the right is packing a wheelbarrow full of pollen. New Zion, sovereign democracy. You got the square and compass here on the book in the middle. Sovereign theodemocracy, as in theology, religious philosophy, and democracy combined. Sovereign theodemocracy. Probably because they were chased here out of Independence, Missouri, because of the difference in their beliefs, which we'll talk about at the end of this video. Shake going on just beneath it. The all-seeing eye there, 1851, maybe that's when Mormonism was founded, and that's the three priesthoods. You start out as a young man in the Aaronic priesthood, moving up to the Melchizedek priesthood, and above that is the Solomonic priesthood. You got angels on both sides, holding a book and blowing a horn. There's an angel Moroni on the top of all their temples blowing a horn. I'm not sure what this part on top is about. Maybe it's like a judge's gavel. I'm not sure. And over here on the left, maybe that part we just went over, that's called a keystone, right in the center of an arch. It is key to Freemasonry. For a long time, no one could build an arch. And that keystone is the key to the geometry and the physics of how to keep the arch from collapsing. And that keystone right in the center was the secret of their ability to build arches. On a horn. I'm not sure what this part on top is about. Maybe it's like a judge's gavel. I'm not sure. And over here on the left, the two tablets, maybe. The 10 Commandments came on a couple of stone tablets like that, maybe. Here. This is like Kabbalah Jewish mysticism, this upward pointing triangle and downward pointing triangle creating the Star of David, and the guy that's at the top, maybe Hermes Trismegistus, Kabbalah Jewish mysticism type stuff, and you can see there's the compass to the left of his head. What else we got? Maybe the Mormon temple down there at the bottom. Over here, purely Masonic, all-seeing eye at the top, two pillars on the right and left, and a third pillar in the middle, and that third pillar in the middle appears to have the beehive on it. The moon on the right, the sun on the left, these symbols in the middle with the triangles in them. I'm not sure what the M, the S, and the A at the bottom of those pillars are, but it looks like these two guys at the bottom are performing some temple rites, initiation degrees, ceremonies, rituals, that kind of stuff. But it's clearly very Masonic. There's the angel Moroni, holiness to the Lord, blowing his horn. Oh, and he's got the square and compass just below him too. That one, actually, I just noticed that. Square and compass right here. Just below his armpit. And we also missed a square right there. This looks like the praying hands emoji. But didn't want to miss a square for you Mason hunters out there. In the middle with the triangles in them. I'm not sure what the M, the S, and the A at the bottom of those pillars are, but it looks like these two guys at the bottom are performing some temple rites, initiation degrees, ceremonies, rituals, that kind of stuff. But it's clearly very Masonic. There's the angel Moroni, holiness to the Lord, blowing his horn. Oh, and he's got the square and compass just below him too. That one, actually, I just noticed that. Square and compass right here. Just below his armpit. Then you got the honeybee up top, blowing his horn. On top of the hive. Apiari Amalthea. I haven't Googled that to find out what that means, but we'll just move on because there's a lot more where that came from. Here we go. As above, so below. You've got the honeybee creating the compass, and he's crossing the square. This is the ridge along the top of the box. And on both sides of it, you can see we got the compass and square. This one's not a honeybee. These wings are more like, I don't know, dragon wings or something. As above, so below. There's a couple images that actually get clearer on this, but this is the ridge on the top of the box. Here, this one's a little bit clearer. As above, so below, and those aren't honeybees. Might be eagle wings, because you can see it looks like possibly an eagle head and an eagle tail on the top of the compass. So those might be symbolically representing eagle wings. Maybe not dragon wings. I think it'd be cooler if it was dragon wings, though. Those. This is the ridge on the top of the box. Here, this one's a little bit clearer. As above, so below, and those aren't honeybee wings. What are those? Here in the center, you got some more honeycomb. And here, you have what looks like a cross going through a ball of snakes. Right? Here, we'll do it center screen. Ball of snakes and a cross, maybe a sword, going through the ball of snakes into the heart, plunging something into the heart. Right? And then over here up to the right of it, you got the wasp penetrating the heart of the beehive. There's a better picture of that here in a minute. We'll take a closer look. But here's the one over on the right. This one's clearly a bee instead of dragon wings. This one's a bee doing the same thing, forming the compass over the square, as above, so below. Ooh, that's as above, so below. Come on, there's a better picture. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just go back there. Because this one matters. This is that wasp, those pesky Gentile wasps that she's fumigating, puncturing the heart of the honeybee hive with an arrow. Right? And I think this is an image we already looked at. Might be a better one of it. You could probably just take a screenshot there, do a Google image search and see what it throws you. But I'm sure enough of you recognize these symbols. Symbolism is a language. Now this is on the back side. I had to reach clear around the back side, which was up against the wall, to even grab a picture of this. The hand of the diligent maketh rich. You can see the beehive with the all-seeing eye above it here. And then down below, it looks like maybe a dead lion, because lions don't usually lay down. It's being swarmed by bees, possibly symbolizing that even the bees collectively working together can slay the lion. Just a repeat of the same image. And then below it, it shows this. For behold, thus saith the Lord of hosts, that the promised land which I have given to you, even the city of New Zion, shall be a land of pleasing things of the earth, yea, even a land of milk and honey. Therefore, as my servant Martin Uproot has gone forth abroad for mine own purposes, pursuant to the restoration of the fullness of the Solomonic priesthood, let him also seek out the Deseret, which being translated is honeybee. For even as New Zion was prepared from the foundations of the earth, so have I prepared a Deseret, which shall inhabit the deep places of the earth. Therefore let my servant seek out the highest mountains which the Lord has created, and there will he find the Deseret which is prepared. For it is written, as above, so below in earth as it is in heaven. And it says this is the book of the greater commandments. And I think I have another image of that. It says, nothing without labor. And this is all on the back side. I'll show you here in just a second. I think this is an image also on the back side. Maybe this is the queen bee in the middle, far larger than the smaller bee above her, the worker bee above her, and this is the queen bee. See, that's on the back side. I had to reach back around, and I could barely squeeze my camera back there in the crack behind it that's up against the wall to grab those images. And also, on that back side, back behind it is his contact information. This apparently went up October 15th. It's only been there a couple days, so it was a good weekend to go to the art museum, because this might be purchased for a measly $1,200 within the next couple hundred days, and I wouldn't have gotten a chance to see it. But his email handle is fumigator109@gmail.com. I don't think this guy works for the Orkin Man. And so this is what's posted on the wall next to it. Famously industrious and communal, honeybees work in total cooperation in a harmonious society ruled by supreme law, but beehives are strictly members only, and trespassers are vigorously expelled. This image so inspired Brigham Young that when he built his Mormon hive in the mountains of the West, it was named after the Book of Mormon name for honeybee. The Utah War killed the dream of Deseret, though the image of the beehive stuck around. This hive, however, is an artifact of an alternate history that asks, what if the idea of a new Zion, a place truly set apart, had lived on? So I think the handle of his email, Fumigator109, I don't think he works for the Orkin Man. I think he's talking about this type of a fumigator to get rid of those pesky Gentiles. Here come those pesky Gentile wasps again. If only there were a refuge they could not reach. I've made trips to this art museum. In their defense, before we move on, that fumigator she was holding is actually a tool used by bee farmers to pacify and sedate the bees when they need to get in there and work with them. They blow some smoke into the hive and the bees become sedated and less active. Maybe not for the purpose of exterminating the wasps. Just thought I should probably throw that in. Museum, here you can see the checkerboards and the eyeballs scattered all throughout that picture. Looks out of focus, but here in a little later it comes in focus. Here's diver angels. Again, it's out of focus for a minute, but it'll come into focus. And that would be to understand. We'll listen to what this retard has to say for a second. That would be the square, the official symbolic representation thereof, said Masons. There was a time in Mormon history when every male of age was required to join the Freemasons. Said Masons. There was a time in Mormon history when every male of age was required to join the Freemasons. Joseph Smith claims to prophetic authority center on visitations from heavenly messengers, while common knowledge to many, some of the angels whom visited him are not, even to lifelong Latter-day Saints. In a now canonized 1842 letter, Doctrine and Covenants 128, Smith writes of diver angels, such as Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, who each gave their dispensation, their rights, and their keys, and their honors, and their majesty, and glory, and the power of their priesthood. This painting depicts those 6 concepts through unnamed heavenly messengers diving down from heaven, ready to dispense a symbolic item related to the teachings and rituals of Mormonism. You can see this one's got like a potion, this one's got like a ram's horn, and some sort of cloth. This one's got like maybe the broken tablets, it's a piece of rock in both hands, and this one's got some sort of box, but this one clearly has the compass and square. I think it may have since changed, but the magic underwear that Mormons usually wear used to have the compass and square insignia sewn right into them. My point is, this is going to be the prelude to a mind bender. Okay, so that's what I titled that video, that trip to the art museum, Prelude to a Mind Bender. I'll include these links in the description. Previous trips to that very art museum, which is chock full of the esoteric knowledge of the mystery schools. This one, Triple Helix Vimanas and the Vials of Wrath. This one's got the snake encompassing the globe. Prelude to a Mindbender. That's one that we just watched. Kimball Arts Festival. Art Museum Part 4, Year of the Masks. Art Museum Part 5, Human Insect Hybrids. Art Museum Part 6, Religion Kills Slowly. And we'll just quickly go through and give you some of the images of the artwork as a taste test. And then you can watch the full videos in the description. This part we'll watch as I took the video because there's something profound that's revealed here. Everything in there is bizarre, straight out of Alice in Wonderland, except that checkerboard floor that's everywhere, and people know it to be associated with the Freemasons. So when I get home, I'm going to expand on these ideas rather than disturbing everyone's trip to the art museum. I'm here at Springville Art Museum. But I'm going to show you a couple more images. You see the difference between that moon and this moon? If you've been watching my videos, you know it. The moon never looked like that in all of history. It always looked like that. And it looks like someone has noticed one of the signs in the heavens and placed it here on this painting that just happens to be hung right next to one that depicts the moon as it's always been. Or within eyeball shot. That's how the moon has always looked. We tend to... This is probably the end of Prelude to a Mindbender. My following video will be a... And I have to include this, because the icon on my YouTube page is a tree being struck by lightning, and plenty of my videos show that the trees have been hollowed out from the inside by something like lightning, plasma, what I call field-activated combustion synthesis. Hollowed from the inside out by underground lightning. Here's a quick example of the Mandela effect. There are thousands of statues and paintings that show the lion laying with the lamb, and that's how everyone remembers the Bible depicting it. And apparently now when you read the Bible, it says when the wolf will lay with the lamb. Why then are there thousands of pictures and statues of the lion laying with the lamb, and that's how everyone remembers it? That's one of the Mandela effect incidents that are very compelling. Side note, maybe someone else knows what this is. That image right there, here in Springville, there's a graveyard where a tenth of the graves have that on them, and they're all from the early 1900s. Just above that secret handshake is the Squatter Man, which has to do with the plasma apocalypse. Google it, but that's a Squatter Man. That image right there. Here in... Okay, we're going to do another little tour of the art museum. And this room prominently features some things that have to do with death, dying, and bereavement. So we'll come back to this one. He says it's just about his dog that passed away in 2021. It's called Crossing the Rainbow Bridge. Yeah, it's just about my dog that passed away. Not the recent video by Salty Cracker that says bodies piling up with a picture of Fauci on the front. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's just about my dog. Yeah, I'm just sad my dog died. Because he has to get around the algorithm as well and can't openly say it. What, was your dog put to sleep? One of those? One of those? I'm gonna show you some of the other stuff in here. We're gonna come back to this room. We got some horns. See the horns? CTR. That is a Mormon saying that means choose the righteous. And as you can see on this one, it says religion kills slowly. And you can see the eyeball right there. Right, so this dude's got like 4 arms and some wings and some horns and a crown and the CTR on his chest, and it says religion kills slowly. Religion versus spirituality. Let your heart lead you through life's journey. No one knows your God better than you do. It's only $350 for this clay.
That's correct.
Religion versus spirituality. Let your heart lead you through life's journey. No one knows your God better than you do. It's only $350 for this clay.
That's correct.
I notice a lot of these images are out of focus. I'm going to have to either really try to keep it in focus next time or just take photos and then add the narration later. It's almost like they've downgraded the pixel quality. But I do have a couple more photos that I took from my most recent trip to the art museum that I might go over here before the end of this.
I totally passed up this room last time I was here because I didn't take it up. What I forgot to mention when showing you this image.
It's titled Second Coming. Is that there's clearly a DNA reference right here. This double helix also has the bars, like a twisted ladder. This also has the cross-section bars. There is zero chance that this is not referencing DNA, this shape, this design, this pattern of this double helix. Now the question is, what does DNA have to do with the second coming? So we go over here and we see the triple helix on the earth, a silent witness. And some people could say, well, that's just a squiggly line. That's just 3 squiggly lines. That's not necessarily referencing a triple helix of DNA, but that's definitely referencing DNA. And I forgot to mention, when I was covering this and showing you the triple helix here, this looks like the magnetic field protecting the Earth. You notice the Earth, there's flames all around outside the magnetic field. But inside the Vesica Pisces, you could consider these magnetic flux lines. And that's the Earth inside. So it's like these flux lines, or the magnetic field, is protecting the Earth inside from the fire, which directly relates to plasma fires, what I've been documenting, how the trees are burning from the inside out all around us, and how... I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to cut it now. As you can see here in just a second, some of these images came out better than others, where you can actually see the detail of the artwork. Give it a second. The Egyptian motif of the scarab beetle going on here. Come on, get in there. Show us the goods. I'll close it out with this. I'm just going to have to do still frames from now on and try and set it to a higher quality setting. Anyway, here you can see this one's titled The Choice. Agency seems of pivotal importance to God, yet fear of choosing unwisely hampers so many, myself included. I'm inspired by the example of Eve, whose bold choice was to move forward. And big difference between Mormons and mainstream Christianity is that the Mormons don't believe that it was the downfall of man. That bite of the apple in the Garden of Eden was a gift and a blessing, not the curse and the downfall of man. And they just might be right. Okay, bringing it all together with the triple helix and the bite of the apple in the Garden of Eden. Here we're going to watch the Queen press the button that lights up the triple helix to the new tree of life. And maybe I'll have to pause it a couple times. Here it goes. She walks up. Ta-da! Triple helix. Going to the new tree of life. How you like that action? Dun-dun-dun-dun! Triple helix. Going to the tree of life. The new tree of life. And the tree of life spirals up with like a spiraled staircase, just like DNA. The ones on the ground were just squiggly lines. The ones in the tree are clearly DNA. They have the cross sections, just as I was mentioning before. Let's watch that one more time. And I'll tell you about a trip I took to the Mormon temple before they sanctify it and close it to the public. I forget the name they have for it. Before it's sealed to the public, whatever that is. They have an open house and allow the newly built temples to be toured by the general public, by the pesky, waspy Gentiles. And me and my girlfriend went there. And there was talk before we went there. She had been to church and heard the ladies at church talking about the apple tree and how beautiful it is at the new temple. The apple tree, this, that, and the other about an apple tree. And we got to see what they're talking about, she says. And I was like, well, what, is there actually an apple tree growing inside the temple? She's like, I don't know. I guess we'll see when we get there. When we get there, it turns out there's a vine with apples on it. Apples don't grow on vines. Going from the 3rd floor in the temple. Let me draw you a picture here. Here's the 2nd floor. These vines were in the stained glass window coming from clear up here on the 3rd floor, going down through every window as a triple helix etched in the stained glass. Triple helix with apples on the vine. Get it? Bite of the apple, triple helix, tree of life. You following along here? And the Queen did this ceremony in like 2020. Remember what was going on then with the mRNA? Tree of life. Triple helix. Dun 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 dun. Let's take that bite of that apple and go forward. Eve inspires me. Don't fear the reaper. You can become like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. She was taking his hand, don't fear the reaper. Then they started to fly, don't fear the reaper. Now, to really add to the heebie-jeebies regarding this 3-strand DNA, I'm going to give you the real meaning to the song 46 and 2 by Tool, as described by Druvlov Melchizedek. Remember the 3 levels of priesthood within Mormonism? Aaronic, Melchizedek, and Solomonic. In this music video by Tool, 46 and 2, it's actually made by a fan of theirs, he combines some of these frames. Some of the stuff is starting out with, the shadow is an unconscious complex that is defined by the repressed and suppressed aspects of the conscious self. These are the lyrics to 46 and 2. Digging through my old numb shadow. Then he shows the diagram of the subconscious, the conscious, and the unconscious. There are constructive and destructive types of shadow. Carl Jung emphasized the importance of being aware of the shadow material and incorporating into oneself, lest one project these attributes onto others like you do with Masons and Mormons and reptilians. Let's proceed. So then it goes through my shadow, shedding skin. You need to shed your skin. And so it shows combination of, these are the lyrics to the song 46 and 2. The frames that are in purple are actually from Druvlov Melchizedek, not Carl Jung. So let's skip forward a little bit and get to those meanings of the song 46 and 2 just ahead of me. It's referring to chromosomes. The human being deals with the reality of the shadow in 4 ways: denial, projection, integration, or transmutation. Here's some more of the lyrics. Let's get to some more of those meanings about the song 46 and 2. It's referencing chromosomes. I might just have to pause it and get to it. Change is coming, now is my time. Listen to my muscle memory, contemplate what I've been doing. 46 and 2, just ahead of me. I choose to live and to grow, learn and love and to cry, kill and die and to be paranoid and to lie, hate and fear and do what it takes to move through. Bum 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 bum. I'll fill it in so we can avoid the copyright strike. What it takes to step through. There are 3 totally different kinds of humans on the earth, meaning that they perceive the one reality in 3 different ways, interpreted differently. What are we doing? Come on. Don't mess me over here. The first kind of human has a chromosome composition of 42 and 2. They comprise a unity consciousness that does not see anything outside of themselves as being separate from themselves, like a type of hive mind. 42 and 2. To them, there is only one energy, one life, one beingness that moves everywhere. Anything happening anywhere is within them as well. They are like cells in the body. They are all connected to a single consciousness that moves through all of them. These are the Aboriginals in Australia. There might be a few African tribes left like this. Then there is our level, comprising of 42 and 2 chromosomes. We are a disharmonic level of consciousness that is used as a stepping stone from the 42 and 2 level to the next level, 46 and 2, just ahead of me. These 2 additional chromosomes change everything. Druvlov Melchizedek. These are paintings by Alex Gray. That's New Family. I'll put the link in the description so you can watch the music video. I better chill on the artwork or I might get a copyright. And if you want a little follow this madness down the rabbit hole a little further, watch the music video Schism by Tool. It's clearly about the reunification of 2 different species. And she takes a piece right out of his dome here. And you can see that it's got red and blue veins. Some may say, well, the blue blood is oxygenated, red blood has been depleted of oxygen, or blue blood is more copper rich, and red blood is more iron rich. You know, the blue bloods. It's about the unification of 2 different species, the reunification. Because cold silence has a tendency to atrophy any sense of compassion between supposed lovers. And the 2 become one. You know, like the Twin Towers collapsing and being replaced by the One World Trade Tower. I'll leave the link in the description. Then the UFO takes off and leaves again.